RC Trucking UK. Now then, the grand hauler. So you're all making progress, whether it be a grand hauler, a Scania, whatever you're building. The chassis is all a similar principle. So if you're building the grand hauler, you'll be like so far with the chassis. You'll have your servos, your front axle fitted, and your rear suspension, your rear leaf springs and stuff ready to take the axles and suspension, which we'll be looking at in today's episode. So there's not much. It's this section here, section 18, and remember, left hand column for the bits and bobs you want, and your tools at the bottom which are required. So we're going to need cutters, because we're going to be snipping those off the sprues for the parts trees. And remember to have a file handy, just to file down where you've snipped it off, and it just keeps it all looking nice and neat. So it's going to be part 18, and then we'll turn the page, and then there'll be part 19, which is attaching the dampers. And then the next episode, probably going to be quite a long one. I might do it into 2 parts, then it's not too head thrashing for you guys. But it's the gearbox, which will be part 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 and 25, and then the fitting it in 26. So as you can see, that's quite a big job. So we could do that into maybe 2 parts, just to go a bit easy. If you've never built a gearbox before, this is probably the toughest part that you're going to come across throughout the whole build, or any build that you ever do. It's just getting all the gears right and making sure that everything all coincides with what you have to use, and it can get fiddly and it can get frustrating. I remember the first time I ever built one, and it just felt like it wasn't going to plan. So for now, require your axles, your parts tree with the parts required, and a few little bits and bats in there. You'll have your little suspension shocks, which we constructed in a previous episode. This is the rear of the chassis, and it's flipped upside down. So let's install the axles. Really easy. We're going to take one of them and your rear axle. You see the holes at either side of the axle. There's 2 there and 2 there. So make sure you got your axles the right way around, and then that's just going to sit on there, and then making sure these are also the right way around. This is just going to sit on there. 3x20 screw. Line up through the holes, and the next one. And then same again for the other side. Your little bracket, and over the holes, and then just screw them into the threaded bracket under the axle. And again. There you go. So there's one. Now when you're installing these brackets to the rear axle, notice they're this way around, like so. Well, for the rear, I'm going to flip them around so they're opposite, and then exactly the same way as you've done with the first axle. So all we're doing with these is literally just repeating that same process. And remember, double drive axle in the middle, single drive to the outside, to the rear of the truck. now you should have this. So now you want your little dog bone. These can be also replaced for upgraded drive shafts, much stronger ones. It depends how far you want to take your truck. Once you start, it's endless. That's where it becomes addictive, and you don't end up with just 1, 2, 3, 4. You can end up with a lot. You want to put like one idea into it, and then you get another idea and you want to put that into it, but then one truck becomes so overfull with ideas, or you can't put all them ideas in, and that's when the hobby kind of spirals out of control and starts becoming addictive, because you've got that many ideas flowing around your head. You want to use all of them. So it starts off with one truck, so many ideas go into that truck, and then you buy another truck, so many ideas go into that, and then new parts, new upgrades, new things come out, so then you want to use those, so then it's another truck, and it's never ending. So technically, once this is complete, as far as the build series is complete, the truck itself will never be finished, because the hobby's always evolving. So for the parts on the sprues, you won't find those in the column. So if you take a look there and there, and then the line coming off it, so you'll have F7 and F6, and then the other side is just the same, F6 and F7. Remember at the top, or wherever it will be, now you can see there it's F, and then all these are numbered, so we've got 6 and 7. So I'm just trimming these off with the craft knife. File them down. Now I've just laid those on the table. Now that's how they will be going on the truck. So take a good look at that. And there's the axles. Still the same way around as I had them. It's probably opposite to you now because the camera's at the back of it, but there's the rear of the truck. Now they are just little bits that you will want to just keep an eye on, because they all look the same, but they are unique in their own little ways. So remember just to always carefully study the manual, and study the parts you're using, and you shouldn't go wrong. Right, so those, as I've just showed you, again, simple. Now these are going on the inside holes, as in like the inside between the axles. I just want to pop that through there. Now the centre axle, we're just going to repeat that process again. Now all those are in place. Now we're going to connect these onto this plate here. Now you do want to put your dog bone back in position now, because once this is put together it ain't coming out unless you take it apart or smash it at high speed in reverse or something. So that's what I like about the flange nuts. See, if you take a look on the back of the flange nut, you see it has loads of little ridges around it. They just tend to bite against whatever you're screwing. They're just great, they seem to just lock themselves. They take the hassle out of it. Now, can you see the axles? The shafts inside rotate in the right direction, or the other way. So now we're on to section 19. We're going to need these little pieces of plastic, and we're taking those still from parts tree F, and they're just going to sit in the chassis. Now when you're snipping and trimming the excess off here, on the back of them there is a little pip, so don't get confused and snip that off. The pip on the back remains. So the dampers, and we made these up previous, just these are going to sit into the holes at the back of these little brackets, and exactly how we did it with these, the little screws and nuts. I got legs, man! I grow legs! Oh no! I got legs! Now looking like that. This is where these little pieces of plastic, and please tell me none of you guys have chopped those little pips off the end. Now on your chassis you've got two holes. Now this little pip will sit in the little hole, just in there like so, and you're going to want a damper collar, which are these little things, and a 15mm screw. Now the chassis is threaded, so we're not going to be requiring nuts at the back of the chassis here. This is just going to sit in the back of there, like so, and then basically all that's doing is acting as a spacer when you pop that in there. And that's all it is. It's just a spacer. Take your screw, thread that into the chassis, holding it all together. Now if you're wondering why am I using a flathead on the Phillips screws, it's because with a Phillips it can be prone to round them off. Now with a nice sized flathead it'll just sit along one side, and I personally find I get a better bite on the screws with a flathead. Some of you might just be sat there thinking, whoa, 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 I don't see nothing mentioned about any flathead in this manual. This is false advertisement. Well, that's not the case. It's just my preference. Repeat again on the other side. So basically a Tamiya truck, it's just Groundhog Day for modelers. Everything is just repeat, repeat, repeat. And that, guys, is your rear axle complete. There's not very much play in the Grandola. However, this does have like little stairs here, little stoppers. So if you require like more of this, which I may do if it's going to be an outdoor truck and up and over stuff, what I probably will do is, let's see if you can see in there, just above there's two little like black pips. Can you see them? These. So I'll probably end up just filing them off. That'll stop them catching on them bumper stops, and even take the bumper stops as well out. These little things here. So if you require more of that, remove those and file that little bit of plastic off the axles there. Now just have a look at the size of this chassis in comparison with my 8-wheeler. Now remember, this Merc is a big truck, but take a look at that. quite surprising just how big this grand hauler is. It is a very, very big truck. So again guys, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the build, and I hope it's of help to a lot of you out there, and I just hope people just find it interesting and enjoy it in general. As I said, next time we'll be back with the dreaded gearbox. So you might want to sight yourselves up for that, guys. Pre-look at the manual, organise everything, study all the little cogs, what's going where. Try and pre-plan it and organise it in the right order yourselves. Like, just do a test run or something. And again, yeah, just thanks for your support. I really, really do appreciate it, guys.